Hello, everybody. Welcome to this bonus episode of the Gold Squadron podcast, episode 270B or something. I don't know. I think actually our podcast release thing will label it as 271. So I guess it's just 2 episodes in a week. 271. Here we go. Mini extravaganza. What happened during that, Ryan? Give us a quick summary.
Oh God, a lot of spoiled things. Future, Yavin and beyond.
That's right.
Excitement.
Excitement. If you haven't watched I did a little mini video talking about the re-releases that are coming. We'll just touch on that quickly. Alpha Class Starwing, Outrider, and Imperial TIE Bombers. Those are coming out in 2023, and I think what I actually want to start before we even talk about these cards. One of the lines that I feel is getting brushed over, and I think is really important, is they mentioned, it was a one-liner, it was said one time, that they have a product lineup for the next 5 years. The last time we heard something like that, we had heard during an interview that Fantasy Flight Games had a product line to 2023. I am very encouraged to hear that they have a 5-year plan for XWing. I think that's really good and important. Marcel?
I did not hear that because I was kind of 1 year in, 1 year out because I was still working.
Yeah.
The one line that I heard, maybe that's just the skeptic and cynic in me.
Of course.
Was not all ships are going to get reprinted.
True.
So when I match your one-liner with my one-liner, they have a 5-year plan. It tells me in the next 5 years there are ships in my
collection
box
that
will not get reprinted, and I may have 13 of them because Jump Masters are not the only that I have 13 of.
True.
Wait, Jump Masters were already reprinted.
I said it may not be Jump Masters. I said I have other ships that I have a massive quantity that is unreasonable.
I'm sure Marcel has 13.
I have a ton of quad jumpers as well.
I thought you were going to say you had 13 resistance bombers.
I was ready for like 14 Kiraxes is based long many consonants name.
All right, here let's throw this out into the universe. What is one ship that you believe will not get reprinted in the next 5 years? I'm going to start.
Okay, you got one? All right.
Okay, I'm going to give you two. One, because I already made a joke about it. Resistance Bomber. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It needs to.
It's movie ship? Really?
It's a movie ship. It's gotta happen.
Not in the next 5 years. No. There's so much stock of that ship.
AMG is still trying to get rid of resistance bombers.
It doesn't make any sense, and it's from, unfortunately, the most controversial of all the Star Wars movies, which makes it problematic because people didn't go out and buy them because it's like, oh, cool movie ship. Like, there just isn't enough love around that ship, which is unfortunate. I think it could be rehauled. Maybe we get cards at some point, but not in the next 5 years. It's not going to happen. Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it at one. I don't want to steal anybody else. Go ahead, Marcel.
I got two. And I can guarantee these. Will not be
guarantee. Only one. Give us one.
No, I'm gonna give you two anyway.
So you're gonna take it from one of us, maybe?
No, because one of us. You're going last.
If we go around our cycle and then maybe add it later.
All right,
you can't control me.
Use the gavel.
I do. I will mute you, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna say because one of them is already a given because the attack shuttle's not gonna get reprinted because the other ship already got reprinted, so they have to reprint one to reprint the other. It's just, because it's a docked ship. You're not gonna reprint a docked ship when you already reprinted the other one. So I was gonna say the KWing. I don't think the KWing is gonna get a reprint.
Oh, spicy.
You're still gonna control me. You see, I gave you 2. You see, I tricked you into letting me say both.
You got it. You did it. What about you, Will?
So here's an interesting one. This is gonna be a hot take. I am gonna put the E-wing on the never to be reprinted list, though I'm gonna move that E-wing over to the re-release potential. I'm still holding out for E-wings in Resistance. Coming in the future.
No.
Flips the table immediately.
The reason that they're standard or not is because the ship model is
correct.
unavailable. Because there was the conversion kits. So the ships that were printed, but the model is available, but the conversion kit allows it to fly in other factions, you can still use. So
Yeah, I like that
if you
idea.
release the E-wing in a different faction,
Right.
the
It
conversion
becomes-
kit automatically makes it available in the Rebellion as well.
Correct.
So that
Yeah.
would not be a not re-release. Like, you would still be able to fly. The
Right. There would be a
Rebellion.
brand new expansion that has an old model, which is not exactly a reprint. But irregardless, I think to see a Rebel E-wing ever re-released, not going to happen.
All right, Ryan?
I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna do 2 because they're basically the same ship, and there's like 3 of these types at this point because one was just released. No more Chemogilla. Dead to Rights is on the Rogue, and we have the Razor Crest. Speaking of the Razor Crest, no more G1A.
Wow.
Zuckuss and Forlom will probably exist as crew for the entire life of this game and standard play. The ship was never seen in the movies, so nope. I do think the IGs will get re-released because that's just like they how they work, right? There's multiple ships. I think that'll eventually be a thing to kind of round out like how the rest of the bounty hunters will exist. But I think those extra 2 medium bases of the Chemogilla and the G1A, Razor Crest is taking its spot, everyone.
Yeah, I could see that. Especially with how like fluff oriented AMG is. Like there's a good chance that doesn't show up. All right. So we light the funeral pyre for these ships. Maybe. Let's get into some.
Is the tag aggressor already standard?
No. The aggressor, the little one with a little turret on the back of it? No.
No. Okay.
Well, someone did bring up the Skurg. Actually, you know what? I'll say it's a little more likely the G1A shows up more than the Skurg. I think the Skurg is actually lower on the list, too. There's just a lot of scum medium bases that are like, eh.
Well, they can keep them in reserve, right? It's like if they ever need something, like fine, we'll let them out of jail.
Probably be a standardized card, realistically.
You're probably right.
Like,
All right,
the only Skurg that's allowed to exist, Captain Nim. Done.
that's it. Hey, iconic character. Moving on. All right. Well, speaking of iconic characters, the Battle of Yavin. We got basically the rest of the pilots that were talked about. Standardized loadouts is what is in this box. A couple things about standardized loadouts, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, as we go through. They will be legal for standard play, along with the customized versions of them. They are different versions of, even if they have the same name. So I keep seeing this, like, what I'm going to call misinformed notion that, like, oh, Luke Skywalker, the original Luke Skywalker cost this many points, which means that the Battle of Yavin one must cost the same. That's not necessarily true. They're different. The subtitles make them different, similar to like Trigger Happy Flyboy Poe and the Heralds of Hope or Commander Poe, whatever the actual name is, just for reference there. And of course, these pilots will also be able to be used in the Battle of Yavin scenario, which is not a tournament scenario. It is just like casual setting type of game that you can play for funsies with these pilots. Let's go ahead. Let's start breaking them down. We'll start with Hull Oakland. Take it, Ryan.
Oh, there's no A in Oakland. It's just OK Land.
OK Land. Auckland.
So so everything on the base stat line is a standard Y-wing. That's because there's stuff that gets messed with in many of these ships. 2 attack, 1 agility, 6 hull, 2 shields. Has the hope ability. After another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, you may perform a focus or boost action. Normal Y-wing action bar, focus, lock, red barrel, red reload. Pilot ability during the system phase. If there are no enemy ships at range 0 to 2 or 1 to 2, you may recover 1 charge on any of your upgrades. So let's go through the upgrades. Dorsal turret. They have confirmed this is a typo. That is not a 3-die dorsal turret. That is still a 2-die dorsal turret. Sad, but is what it is. Has advanced proton torpedoes. Standard. Nothing weird about the naming on that one. Then we have the Precise Astromech. After you perform an action, you may spend 1 charge to perform a red lock action. So, if you just end up in front of a ship at range 1, and they've already moved, have a nice double-modded advanced proton torpedo, because you can focus, spend a charge for Precise Astromech, take the red lock.
Yeah. During the system phase, you may. So, okay, first I had to check the initiative still, because I know a couple of them changed, or at least one of them. During the system phase, you may choose 1 friendly ship at range 1. If you do, treat your initiative equal to the chosen ship's initiative until the end of the activation phase. So you move at the same time. You don't shoot at the same time unless they have storm tactics. And then they all have the hope. Is it a hope? It's not hopeful anymore, huh? It's just hope. So
It's a little different. Like it's just so it's not quite the same.
After a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, you may perform a focus or boost action. What's different about it?
It doesn't require a unique pilot or pilot with hope upgrade on it.
Okay. Got it.
Not that you're running generics anyway, but yeah.
Well, not during this, but in standard you might be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what? No?
Yeah, you know. Yeah,
I still shake my head no. We're not running generics.
You're not. Okay, attack speed. After you fully execute a 3 or 4 straight maneuver, you may perform a
boost.
Okay, is that boost? I thought it said like bassinet. A boost using the 1 template, the 1 straight template. This is not an action, and it also does not have the what is it called? The one that lets you boost if you flip the
S foils. Yeah, none of the X-wings have S foils.
Yeah, so it does not have the S foil. So that means you can go 3 boost or 4 boost for free, not an action, but it doesn't. Which still leaves hopeful open, but you can't like boost as a regular action because it doesn't exist. And then it has selfless, while another ship, a friendly ship at range 0 to 1, defends before the neutralized result step. If you are in the attack arc, you may suffer 1 critical damage to cancel 1 critical damage. So basically, just the regular selfless proton torpedoes. Regular proton torpedoes, and then R2 F2. They just got tricky and put the F2 on there, but it's just really an R2 astromech. After you reveal your dial, you may spend the charge and gain a disarm token to recover 1 shield.
Hey, legal regen. Solid. All right.
Oh, they banned it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because
Standard. Definitely banned.
Yep. So this is a standardized loadout card that will be legal in standard, which is going to be interesting. They're as they release these standardized pilots, there's definitely going to be some that land in different spots on the power curve. I'll be curious to see which the first one, if any, that ends up becoming extended only.
Yeah, and I'm wondering like how many of these are better as their Yavin version or their standard version.
Well, I mean, okay, so we can't say anything about Auckland because he doesn't exist in the customizable pilots. But like Biggs, nobody's flying Biggs Darklighter. You don't see that on the table. So that's one where maybe I think more interesting. I know we're not going to talk about Vader here, but like the Siege of Coruscant ones, like when we get there, that's where I think that question is definitely going to be a little more interesting.
Yeah, but you're saying nobody's flying Biggs, but Biggs has 18 loadout points.
But that doesn't mean people are flying it because he's
They're not flying
initiative
them
3.
because there's Wedge and there's Luke and there's there's meaningful things, but that doesn't mean this Biggs is better than 18 loadout points on standard Biggs.
True. Well, now we're going to flip to the Empire, Will. Backstabber.
Okay, Backstabber. This is a TIE Fighter, Initiative 5. Backstabber here has the ability, while you perform a primary attack, if a friendly Darth Vader or Mauler Mythal is in your side arcs at a range 0 to 1, roll 1 additional die. So if you've seen a movie where they go through the trench, it's Backstabber and Mauler Mythal were the 2 wingmen for Darth Vader. So it's Backstabber showing off that kind of formation flying by getting an extra attack dice. Notoriously, you do not have to stab them in the back. Very comfortable stabbing in the front. Now, he does have Crack Shot to remove evade results in this bullseye. Discipline to get some free locks and barrel rolls, and has old school afterburners. After you fully execute 3 to 5, you can boost even while stressed. This might actually be the only standardized loadout that really speaks to me. And if this guy can just sneak in under, what do I want to say? Sneak in as a 3-point ship, this could be pretty good. Mauler Mythal is also an Initiative 5 TIE Fighter, so you can just run them together and clear the way, if you will.
I like it. Now, we have some TIE Interceptors, which were described as the experimental. Like they were around, and Lucasfilm was like, yeah, go for it. It's cool. They were around. It works. Between the scenes. So we had Sigma 4 here, Battle of Yavin. Normal loadout, or not loadout, stats. 3 attack, 3 agility, 3 hull, 2 charges, non-recurring. After you perform a barrel roll action, you may spend 1 charge to perform a boost action. So you have that double reposition option, doesn't leave you stressed, and you also have sensitive controls available. During the system phase, you may perform a red barrel roll or boost action. You're going to have to manage these Sigma 4's ability and sensitive controls together, because of course, if you do a barrel roll with sensitive controls and that's red, you're not going to be able to do Sigma 4's ability because it's a red.
But Dion, this ship has an upgrade.
You're right. The actual loadout, it's got prime thrusters, the one card you would need to actually do this. Thank you, Ryan. Prime thrusters, which is while you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you can perform barrel roll or boost actions even while stressed. Crazy town. So you do whatever you want, Sigma 4. Go crazy. And also has discipline, which we covered already. Initiative 4, I think this is one that people are going to reach for. The being able to wiggle as much as you can here with Sigma 4, even while stressed. Prime thrusters is an expensive card, and that's because he's good.
Man, imagine too, not only for the system phase reposition, but say you didn't system phase repo and you just got like focus or something, and discipline triggers, and you decide to barrel roll and then use the pilot ability to spend a charge and also perform a boost. That none of that's stressful either.
Dirty. Absolutely dirty. Let's keep it going here, Ryan, with Sigma 7.
So Sigma 7 has the standard 3/3/3, 3 attack, 3 agility, 3 hull, interceptor. 2 charges, non-recurring. That might be kind of, it seems like maybe the theme of the Sigma 7s. They get 2 charges to use a cool ability, but only twice a game. They'll come back or whatever. Marksmanship, fire control system, targeting computer. So very lock-oriented, especially with the ability. Where this had a typo. They did show a corrected one on their in-play stream that they had. The corrected text says, during the system phase, you may spend 1 charge to acquire a lock on an enemy ship at range 0 to 1. It makes a lot more sense.
Which makes a lot more sense, yeah.
Because the old one said, you may spend a charge to acquire a lock on the defender, and you go, what's a defender? Who's a defender or attacker in system phase? What? It doesn't work.
Yep, they fixed that. All right, cool. And a quick note here. You'll note I did see some confusion. It got corrected in the chat, but these are all unique pilots. There's not like Sigma Squadron pilot. This is Sigma 4, Sigma 7. They are numbers, so they are specific single pip pilots. Now, after they revealed these pilots for the Battle of Yavin, they went ahead and also said, hey, the one after that, Siege of Coruscant, we're going to go ahead and show you some of those, and this is where the fun begins. All right, Marcel, Anakin Skywalker in the Eta 2.
Sure, Anakin Skywalker, the low ground. So it has all the same stuff as far as like attack, agility, hull force. After you or a friendly open one Kenobi ship at range 0 to 3 fully executes a maneuver. If there are more enemy ships at range 0 to 1, you may spend the force. If you do, that ship may perform a barrel roll action. So this is different. So now you don't get a force, or you don't remove a stress. You perform I would assume it's a white barrel roll action. And then intuitive controls during the system phase, you may perform a purple barrel roll or boost action. So if you intuitive controlled a barrel roll, you cannot utilize this ability anymore. And then it has malice while you perform an attack. Actually, is it the same?
It's a normal malice, yeah. I think the new thing is that ancillary
ion weapon. While you perform a primary front arc attack, before rolling attack dice, you may spend 2 charges. If you do, your critical results deal ion tokens instead of damage. The thing being, it's got to be on the front arc, the 2 dice, not the bullseye 3 die attack. And then it's got R2D2, which is the same R2D2 as well.
So do we think like this is that ion weapon is essentially ESC? Like, do you think this ability? It's free, right? It's going to be part of the cost. Is it worth it? Is it good?
Compared to
it's really helpful to have malice. I'll tell you that much for this.
Yeah. True that. True that. Because you can guarantee crit results, and even if it's a weapon that people don't end up using, if this is cheaper than the other Anakin, people might just take it anyway, just because it's cheaper Anakin.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I don't think I'd be angry if this was 5 points.
I don't know. I mean, it still's got R2D2. It's still Anakin. It still has Malice and R2D2. Those two add up to some stuff. And then the barrel roll action, I would say is better than the removing stress now, because when it doesn't tell you at what point, it says after a friendly ship executes a maneuver. So that basically means you can barrel roll and take a regular action, whether it's focus, evade or whatever, without stressing yourself. So you can bump, barrel roll, and then you can bump barrel roll and then take your regular action. Even bump barrel roll boost if you really want to get out of dodge.
This does say
And you
fully
can modify.
execute, so you shouldn't be using the ability if you bump.
It is fully
Oh,
executed.
really? It says
Yep.
fully execute. Then I
They
lied.
made it more fair in that aspect too. But also, the old ability for Anakin wasn't just stress. The Delta set the Aether sprite was stress specific and removing, but Ada Anakin was red token, so it could
Yeah,
be
so
lock,
target lock
could be
or something
ion,
else.
it could be strain.
Okay,
deplete.
I see your point. It needs to be cheaper because it's definitely not as good.
Cool. Alrighty, let's keep the party going. We also got Shakti. I know, so this shook some people a little bit. People went, ooh, neat. Take it, Will. If only we could hear Will.
Will, you're still muted.
I said some great things. You missed out. Anyways, Shakti, more or less the same as far as her stat line. The big change here is the ability. At the start of the in phase, you may perform a purple coordinate action, even while stressed.
What? This is absurd.
After you perform that coordinate action, if the chosen ship has the Born for this ship ability, you may coordinate one additional ship. Now, please inform me, who's born for this?
The clones.
The clones, exactly. They're bred for it, born for it, live for it. If this is a pseudo battle meditation ability. The biggest difference, though, is that this is an extra action. At least the in-phase coordinate. So that's very, very good, in my opinion. It still has the intuitive controls for those boosts and barrel rolls. Let's take a look at her loadout. It's got marksmanship for those crits, brilliant evasion for extra evades while spending force. The ancillary ion weapons you just described about dealing ion tokens instead, and then RFR P8 Astromech to reduce the difficulty of basic maneuvers. So thoughts on this? Let me press before I get to your thoughts. the Shakti's original ability to hold evades or focuses was so good, continues to be good for that chassis. So I feel like, in my opinion, this is a downgrade in power for that. Do you think that maybe the coordinate could be stronger?
I think the fact that the coordinate gives you +1 action, that's you're not limited to the focus or evade, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That ability to reposition, give somebody a boost or a barrel roll can be massive, especially with objectives, right? Like, I know that you can't move and no, wait, this is at the start of the end phase.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
Oh.
No. All cases, mission
Scoring
points
always
come
first, right?
before
Okay.
anything. Yes.
I was like, wait a second. No.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
But it can at least get you in position for the following turn, get a little closer, get to where you got to go. Just those repositions can be,
And target locks don't go away.
yeah.
Yeah, so target locks and repositions is where the Shakti is going to be different from the original Shakti, which is more about those focus and evade. So it's almost like completely different in that aspect. But your ability to help two ships without spending both force with this Shakti, though, because it just says after you perform a coordinate action, which you performed a purple one, if the chosen ship has born for this ability, you may coordinate an additional ship. You don't have to do the second coordinate as purple, it's white.
And another thing that people might get mistaken, the second ship does not need to also have born for this.
Correct.
That means you can as long as you have one born for this ship, the second ship could be another ETA. It could be anything. So
you could end up creating some shenanigans with other ships that like obstructed shots that may not have system phase repositions like Ada's. So you could do like a shattering shot 7B or CL or Aether Sprite. They could go in front of an obstacle, shoot, and this Shakti at the end phase could give them the way out of having to go through that obstacle again.
And there's also a ton of coordinating crew in the Republic, which allows you to chain link those, so you can do your own coordinate to a born for this ship, and then link it to a coordinate to another coordinator, then just kind of does the little coordinate chain to get it to give you wider range on those coordinates at the end phase.
Coordinate train, keep it coming. Choo choo. All right. Axe. I forgot who we were on. We all kind of talked about that one. Next person.
All right.
It's you, Dion.
Oh, it's me, Axe. All right. Axe, after you perform an attack, this is in the Torrent. V19, is that the correct numbers, right? V19 Torrent. After you perform an attack, you may choose another friendly ship with the Born for This ability at range 0 to 2 in your side arcs, left or right. The chosen ship gains a lock on the defender. Now, this is our first time to take a look at Born for This. While another friendly ship at range 0 to 2 defends, if you are not strained, it may spend your focus and evade tokens as if that ship has them. If it does, you gain 1 strain token. So this is like, when I saw this ability, it reminded me of it's a more flexible or a green token oriented disciplined is kind of what it is. If you know, the discipline allows you to do re-rolls for the cost of a strain. It's kind of like that. I think it's interesting. The fact that you have to have those tokens available, though, could end up being the thing that hurts these, or at least maybe could be the thing that keeps them cheap and be situational, though it just depends on what tokens you have available. On that V19 Torrent, you got Deadeye Shot and Barrage Rockets. Now, Marcel, I saw you shaking your head. You think this is like the most amazing thing since sliced bread? What you got?
Yeah, no, I was just reading it. I was thinking to myself, Hera, A-Wing Hera, or B-Wing Hera, like passing tokens whenever you need it, while another friendly ship at range 0 to 2 defends. It's only on the defensive side, but still, you know, they have access to the evade. A lot of ships in the Republic don't have easy access to the evade. They might have to spend the force if it's, you know, a Delta. And it happens at this, you know, when you need it, it happens. And the strain really doesn't matter because you're basically choosing, you know, okay, I'm going to take the evade there now, guaranteed. And then I'm forcing you to shoot who I want you to shoot. And that doesn't mean if you have a multiple of these that somebody else can't toss you an evade right back. So it just creates a weird dynamic, especially with the 0 to 2 range, which gives it a nice little bubble. It's not in your left or right arc, it's just in your bubble. And then the other thing that I like is, again, it's not saying something like, you know, in the like in the Separatist and CIS, where it says, I can share a token with somebody else who has this same ability. It just says while a friendly ship. It's not like while a friendly ship that has a born for this. It's just a friendly ship. So you can throw that to anybody. So it allows you to be a lot more aggressive. Because now you can just, you know, if you got a good shot, you rolled a couple focus, just spend your focus, because you know you might have one or multiple ships willing to throw you focuses right back.
True that. All right, let's keep it going now.
We'd also want to note that Axe has a 6 hull, not 5.
Oh.
And my brain just kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. A crew that we had not seen used since she came out can probably work extremely well with Born for this. And if you bring it on Hound, who can eat up that strain for someone else, Satine.
I don't even know
It's got a ship who doesn't have a shot. They can take a disarm and get a free evade at the start of engagement. And that evade can now be for anyone. They can take a deplete for a focus. Also now for anyone. Extra free tokens for Born for this? Maybe.
I like it. I like the combo wombos. All right, let's go. Ryan, Count Dooku. We're going on the Separatist side now.
Dooku! All right, in the Infiltrator, to clarify, stat line is pretty much the same. We got 3 attack, 1 agility, 6 hull, 4 shields, 3 force, 1 reoccurring. But now, this Dooku's Coruscant Dooku. This isn't like Dooku from Episode 2, who almost got punked out by like Anakin with 2 lightsabers, right? This is Dooku who's had some experience in the war. It's I-5 Dooku, not I-3 Dooku. So he is a better pilot now, I guess. And he doesn't have his old pilot ability either. He, as far as I can tell, has his crew ability. During an attack before a ship at range 0 to 2, rolls attack or defense dice. If all your force are active, you may spend 1 force to name a result. If the roll does not contain the named result, the ship must change 1 die to that result. So that's pretty good. And we have Malice. We have the Scimitar title. And we have a new keyword upgrade called Roiling Anger, which is denoted as a force upgrade. At the start of engagement phase, if you are in an enemy ship's front arc, you may gain a strain token to recover 1 force. So it's like Sith version of Patience. Instead of taking a deplete to gain a force in an arc, a front arc, you gain a strain to get a force back. Which, when you're already rolling 1 agility, if 1 attack says you don't get agility, it's kind of like, meh, whatever.
I was probably going to roll a blank anyway.
Yeah, like it's whatever, you know. And if that gets you back up to full force because you want to use Dooku's pilot ability, it's probably going to be worth it.
Yeah, that's this Count Crooku in the Scimitar. I think we'll see more of this one for sure. All right, we got a Hyena Bomber, Marcel, DBS 32C.
All right, so you got 2 charges on it. After you perform a calculate action, you may spend a charge to perform a gem action. So now you've they're whispers, and then it's got network calculations. We already know that one. Plasma torpedoes, same plasma torpedo. Contingency protocol. After this ship is destroyed, another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 with contingency protocol may perform an action even while stressed. So it's kind of like a disciplined, but while stressed. So it's disciplined better than disciplined.
It could be any action too.
Yeah, and it doesn't say like target lock barrel or anything. At the start of your activation, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, ignore obstacles while you move through them this round. And then they did talk about this a little bit, that they don't want to do like the struts. They don't want to flip them anymore, so just kind of simplified it a bit.
Right, yeah.
They always want to ixnay double-sided cards and simplify them to get a similar effect, which, your S foils for attack speed, your this strut lock override versus grappling or landing struts, etc.
You may, but now the thing is at the start of your activation, you may spend the charge. So you have to guess. Like if you're making a type maneuver and you're not sure if you're going to hit it or not, you just spend it to be safe, because it's not like, oh,
yeah, you
I
get two charges if you feel like you're going to.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume when you're going to go through it.
And it's for the whole round. So and with the new changes with that they implemented for overlapping, you can land on it. You land on it, you shoot, you do everything normally, and when you fly off, you don't have
while
to
you move
reuse it.
through this round, not shoot.
Oh, so you
Ignore
have to
obstacles
barrel
while
out
you move
so
through
it's more
them.
akin to
It's like
to dash or
Yeah.
to the scum TIE fighters.
Yep.
Yep. So you still can't fire while it's on there, which makes thematically more sense, right? It's like you didn't have vultures on asteroids shooting people. Doesn't quite.
Now they're just kind of skipping off of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Contingency protocol. If we're talking like future build ideas, like I had with the Satine board for this thing, we know a really good tactical relay that has existed for a while that relies on droids dying. So what if when droids died, there was this guy named TA-175 that said, here's all this calculates. And then they all had contingency protocol, and they all also got another action. I'm going to try it like almost right away and figure out a list to see what works.
Set up those.
How do you kill yourself?
In CIS?
It reminds me of that list, that ruthless list, where you purposely trying to kill your ISB.
I don't think I'm too concerned about like trying to destroy my own ships when most of them are pretty easy to destroy sometimes.
Or I mean, Marcel, if you really want to destroy yourself, you just don't use the strut lock override, and asteroids will do it for you.
There you go.
It's like, do we activate the struts? No, don't, please.
No. Oh no, I died. Now here's all this stuff I get.
Awesome. Let's keep it going, Will. DIS T81, the last of the Siege of Coruscant that we got during Mini Extravaganza.
Okay, the DIS T81 is an initiative for Tri-Fighter. It does have the same stat line 333. This one now has the ability, while you defend and perform an attack, you may re-roll any number of your dice. Period. Then, if you were defending, gain 1 strain token for each die that was re-rolled. If you were attacking, gain 1 deplete token for each die that was re-rolled instead. Still has network calculations, has outmaneuver and afterburners, in addition to that contingency protocol. This T81 is a monster. Not only does it have outmaneuver and afterburners, great upgrades on a fast flanking ship, but this ability to never blank out. You always have your reroll. Who cares if you take a strain if you are going to survive the attack rather than be destroyed? So that's very interesting to me. Now, if you just on offense, so if you just keep re-rolling a single die, you could do blue maneuvers to clear that deplete, which I think is super fantastic for this guy. I think we'll see a lot of this in both standard and the scenario.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited for this one. As a big Tri-Fighter fan at face, like, my only concern is this one has network calculations and not independent. So when it's already wanting to be a little bit of a loner, its offensive eyeball mod is pretty much just a single calculate. So it's like, So depending on how much you want to reroll to push that offense, I mean, outmaneuver helps a ton. Obviously, afterburners with it is ridiculous. So I'm excited.
And a clarification for this card, because it was accidentally misinformed on stream, and the stream was like, "What?" Remember, you can have 700 strain tokens. It's still -1 agility. Same thing with deplete. It's the status of being strained or the status of being deplete. The penalty is the more dice you reroll at once, the more turns it will take to get rid of that status. Just for clarification there. All right. The next thing that they talked about, we knew about the Battle of Yavin coming. We knew that the Siege of Coruscant was coming. And then they went out and said, did you know we were also doing Hot Shots and Aces too? And this is where we were all like, what? Yeah, let's go. Now, before we do this, I want to call out the negative Nathans, all right, out there. There's like, more cards, show us a new ship. Hey, we talked about production timelines and all that stuff. It's cheaper and faster to get cards. I'm almost sure we're going to get ships at some point. It'll happen. But let's continue. Because I would say that was like, I saw people excited and then complaining.
For Hot Shots and Aces 1 that, like, why wouldn't you be excited for another one?
Because I want more plastic. Anyway, Ryan, I'm right with you. Why? But why? Anyway, Hot Shots and Aces 2, how many pilots did they give us? 1, 2, 3. 3 pilots, as well as, I guess there was a couple other Battle of Yavin folks we didn't get. But here we go. The first one. Fang Fighter. This is a customizable ship. We are out of the we are out of the standardized loadouts. We're now in customizable loadout cards. This is an Initiative 3 Fang Fighter. And by the way, in this Hot Shots and Aces 2, they did say that pilots for every faction will be coming out. We don't know how many of each one, but they did say one. There are pilots for each faction. Tor Fun in the Fang Fighter for Scum. Nothing different on the stats or the actions. The ability, after you perform an attack, if the defender was destroyed, you may perform an action even while stressed. That's awesome. Then you may gain 2 strain tokens to perform a bonus attack. So, I mean, that seems like a really awesome ability. It is very aggressive. The weakness on it, of course, it's the fact that it's Initiative 3. Then, of course, if you want that bonus attack, you're taking a couple strain tokens, so that's going to affect you defensively. But if you use that action... after destroying a ship to maybe boost towards another ship, get in range 1, could potentially help out defensively.
Initiative 3 is not it's actually a good thing here because you want it to shoot after other ships already weakened. So you take your heavy hitter shot, and then this is just cleanup, and then clean up and take a bonus shot.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I guess what I'm saying is Fang Fighters right now are not seen out there because they're seen as a little bit, for the cost right now, they're a little bit of a liability. Even though you have Concordia face-off, because of how spread out things are in most of the objectives, you're at range 2 of somebody and getting wrecked. So we'll see. We'll see if Tor makes a splash. Ryan, let's take a look at this next one. Poe Dameron in the Scavenged Resistance YT-1300.
Yeah, we got Poe flying the Falcon, it's the Falcon. Whether or not he'll get the title, we'll have to see. But I-6, same action bar, focus, lock, red boost, or red rotate. Same stat line of 3 bow tie turret, 1 agility, 8 hull, 3 shields, and 2 charges, 1 recur. Before you execute a maneuver, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, ignore obstacles during that maneuver. So a dash-like effect in that aspect, but only during that maneuver, not move. So it needs to be your maneuver that can get you in the other side of the obstacle so you can then reposition off of it. You can't reposition through it. After you fully execute a maneuver, you may spend 2 charges to perform a white boost action or red barrel roll.
What?
Barrel roll on this. Then if you performed a red barrel roll, expose one of your damage cards if able. So built-in engine upgrade every other turn. It's very nice. I assume the idea of this pose, what you saw in Rise of Skywalker, just skipping through, hyperspace jumping, whatever, hyperspace skipping, going through stuff, crazy things. Poe does all the moves of a true hotshot ace, but in this big base ship trying to do barrel rolls, which are difficult, which destroy some of the ship in the process. So seems pretty cool.
If it gets access to an illicit, I don't think that it will, or pattern or something like that. I mean, that is potentially a barrel roll boost, potentially. Now, the question that I have is, actually, I don't have a question about that. But yeah, so if it has access to illicit or tech, then it's scary.
Well, how would you perform a barrel roll and a boost?
With contraband?
You need your charges, though. You can read the ability.
Yeah, just spend 2 charges to barrel
After you
roll.
fully execute a maneuver, you may spend 2 charges to perform a red barrel action, and then as your normal action, you red boost.
Do the boost. Okay.
I mean, it leaves you a little stressed, but still, like a
Just
big
a little.
Falcon.
It's fine. You slap on that raised Millennium Falcon title.
No,
Right.
it's in the Resistance, so you can put Corsella on there and like
Corsella,
just clear it
yeah.
out.
We don't know what could go on there currently. We
No,
can
I'm just saying,
assume
like-
some upgrades.
Isn't
I'm
Cor-
daydreaming here. Come on.
Isn't Corsella banned? Isn't she extended only?
Oh.
Am I imagining that? Oh no, she just got
it's
really
just-
expensive.
She got expensive.
That's what it was. Okay, she's
and people
not
can't-
banned. She's
Well, it was people were abusing her by flying onto debris clouds and then
I know.
using her to remove all the stress. As you can't do that anymore. Well, I guess you could still do that, but you can't shoot on that debris,
Yeah.
so not as beneficial.
Corsella's 6. I think she's always been 6 actually. After you fully execute a blue, remove all your stress. And she's the same.
Oh,
It's just
it must-
obstacles got more difficult to deal with.
Yeah, true.
all right. And the last Hot Shots and Aces Part 2 that we got pilot. We got Joel Gergerod. Take it.
This is a Security Commander Initiative 4 TIE Bomber, TIE FO Bomber. After you perform a boost action, you may spend 1 charge of 3 to remove 1 non-lock red or orange token. It still has the pursuit thrusters and the same action bar. So, a lot of people were asking about boosting while stressed. You could do that with primed thrusters. In the system phase, actually remove your stress with a boost action. Is there and obviously, if you're strained, depleted, anything like that, you can remove it. In theory, you could reload him and then have someone coordinate a boost to remove his weapons disabled. Would be pretty impressive. I don't really know of too many other combinations than that. I'm trying to think of, is there any other red or orange tokens? You couldn't boost while ionized, so that's not a combo. I guess jam. You can boost off your jam token. Still, I think we've seen a lot of success with the TIE Bombers, and assuming this guy has similar slots, should be just as good as well.
Awesome. So looking forward to see. Go ahead.
So I was just thinking about back to Han just for a second. Again, it's my daydream.
Han or Poe? Falcon.
Poe, yeah, Poe. So if big if, but if it's Poe but flying Rey's Millennium Falcon, Rey's Millennium Falcon allows you to do a boost maneuver even while stressed. And if you throw an engine upgrade on there, you can theoretically move, spend 2 charges, barrel roll, red barrel roll, and then white boost, and still only end up with 1 stress, and your barrel roll boosting every single turn. Oh, every other turn, because you got to recharge both.
Right. You just want to see that double reposition Falcon out there.
I just want to see a double reposition big base ship. Period.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a chance that they just won't give him the title, but it seems strange because it's very much her ship at that point in time.
Gotta love it. All right. So during the so that was the first part of AMG stream. When they came back and actually played through the Battle of Yavin scenario, we got to take a peek at two more pilots here. We have Dextyre in the Y-Wing. We have, let's go, equipped with dorsal turret, advanced proton torpedoes, and R4 astromech. Nothing different about that. Ability, while you defend, if there is at least one other friendly ship at range 0 to 1, you may roll 1 additional defense die. Just, of course, encouraging formation flying, which, I mean, is in the Battle of Yavin. I don't know too much about the actual scenario itself. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fully watch that one. I'm not surprised to see Y-Wings flying in formation, though. That doesn't seem weird. And then, Ryan, we also got Dark Curse.
Yeah, we got a TIE Fighter, 2 attack, 3 agility, but 4 hull. Let's give it an additional hull. I-6.
What?
Our first I-6
Sorry,
TIE
Dion,
Fighter.
can you adjust the screen?
Sorry, the picture is just really big. But yes, I can try.
And pilot ability, while you defend, the attacker's dice cannot be modified. Just no mod for you at all. No stipulation, just while Dark Curse defends, attacker dice cannot be modified. So pretty good candidate for a high I-6 action, like scenario action, like scramble. Like, sure, I'm going to be unmodded defensively, which doesn't feel great sometimes because red dice do generally overcome greens naturally. But man, that's pretty good. Ruthless as the talent and precision ion engines, which, by the way, precision ion engines at I-6 is also a big, like, you get to choose, do I want to still do the 3K or do I want to do a 3 sloop in either direction that I get to choose before I execute it. So lots of agency and decisions that you get to make later on, which is really good. What I wonder is if this TIE Fighter is going to be like 3 points or 4 points. If it's 4, I don't think I take it. If it's 3 points, it's weird. At 4, I don't know if I take it. At 3, it's a high consideration.
Mm-hmm.
So this, in the world of objectives, this is like the perfect. Because it's perfect because it doesn't care about its action as much defensively because you're not modifying the attack. It's got hull upgrade basically. And then in specifically the one that allows you to, there's 2 that it does really well on. One of them is in the not the tow, but the other ones, because in the tow, initiative 6 is probably a bad thing because you're not moving early enough to capture them. But with the other ones, you can take the action to claim the objective after everybody has already done so, and then you're not so much worried on the defensive mods. And then in the other one, you can do your barrel roll after everybody's moved. You can see where I need to be closer to that one because that one needs an extra body in order to get the point in the range 1 bubble. I need to learn these subjective missions at some point.
I have been repeating them almost every time after you say just like a random description of it.
Which one is that one? Is that salvage?
It's salvage.
No,
salvage. Yeah, salvage.
Salvage is which one? The one that you're close to it?
No.
Assault.
Salvage is a pickup. Assault is close.
Well,
Anyway, it's a good
technically,
objective
chance
ship.
and assault, you need to be close to something theoretically.
Chance is the murder, the death match. Anywho,
So, I think salvage is more of a death match right now than chances. Maybe hot take. I don't know, because no one wants to pick up the boxes. But I will say the people who do make time and figure out who needs to pick up the boxes are generally be more successful than people that will treat salvage like a PvP matchup.
I feel like Scramble's more PvP. Like Scramble to me, I mean, in all the matches I have done, Scramble, I'm gonna say I like Scramble. Scramble, I feel, gives you. This is not today's discussion. This is not what this is about. We'll get back to that later. But I'm excited to see. New pilots in the game are always fun. New list building possibilities with standardized upgrades. We also got to see Attack Run and Yahoo for the Battle of Yavin, but we'll talk about that later when we cover the Battle of Yavin scenario, the Death Star trench run, in more detail on a later date. But thank you everybody for watching here. I'm excited to see what these card packs and scenario packs bring. They also did mention that there are more card packs coming, or more scenario packs coming. What were some of the battles that they had mentioned, guys?
Battle of Endor.
The Last Jedi leaving one. You called out the
Dakar.
moon.
Dakar,
yes.
Jakku.
Jakku was the other
Not
one.
even on. Was only primarily featured in the Battlefront 2 video game.
Yeah, and I think
I
they
would
also
still-
mentioned Starkiller Base. I think they mentioned
Yeah, they
that
did
one as
mention
well.
Starkiller Base. You're right. That was the other one in the sequels. I don't remember what other prequel ones. I feel like a lot of those, if any, were Clone Wars based and not movie based.
Maybe. We'll find out soon. I mean, space battles, you can find them if you really want them. All right, everybody. But thank you so much for listening and watching episode 271. This bonus episode we did, whatever it is. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay smart and stay safe. Go Squadron.